Hello, I'm Crystal Bergfield, and I'm here to share with you about politics, and specifically why people don't vote. So, in 2016, for the presidential election, 42% of eligible voters did not vote. Yeah, I think that's right. Or maybe only 42% of voters did vote. Either way, the numbers are grim, especially in democracy, and we're supposed to be one of the strongest democracies in the world. And I think that we don't talk about our position in the world anymore because maybe we're not proud of it, or because um, I maybe the powers that be don't want us to recognize that we're not doing so hot, because they're primarily to blame, and we'll get into that. They're not really to blame, but anyway. So why is it that people didn't vote? Lack of representation. So I've been traveling the country and people tell me it's lack of representation. I don't feel like I'm being represented. The politics is dirty. The politicians are greedy and corrupt, and federal government, especially, people are like, bureaucracy, I don't like it. Especially when those of us who still pay our taxes are going to places that we don't agree with, we don't support, and we don't even know about. For example, our defense spending is the bulk of the budget, and it's not even going towards our military personnel. And I mean, some of it is, but there's a lot that's siphoned in like a secret account that who knows what they're doing, but they're not telling us. And it's democracy, right? So we should have freedom to know what our money's being spent on. And then, not to mention that it's not the system isn't quite fair, right? So there are those people who are paying more than others, and we get into this whole argument, right? But it's ugly. Gets down to that lack of representation, a lack of trust, and a disgust with politics. And I don't blame people. However, it is a little hurtful when people hear that I'm running for president and they just decide that I've got to be like the rest of them instead of having a conversation with me. It's this instant judgment of corrupt, a cheater, a liar, will say anything, do anything. Oh my God, you guys, can we have conversations anymore today? Or is it just that we need to put everyone in a box so we know who they are? It's as if our goals define us by old rules, right? Like, I don't like politics. I think it's disgusting. I think it's ruined our country, and yet it's where all the power is. So if I want to make great change and positive change in our country, I might want to address that, right? I need to go towards that. And there's a lot of other politicians that are, I should put air quotes, politicians, people that are getting into politics because they too feel the same way, that this is disgusting. It's not who we are. We don't feel represented. And so they're diving in. And so that's where we are, right? And we're in this place where we don't trust, where we're disgusted with it. And it's a beautiful thing to see so many people protesting, dissenting, going against the grain, if you will. But here's the thing that I see in this. We can go against the grain. We can, there's some who would be called anarchists, who just want to destroy the whole system. But I want you to see this piece here. There's so many people who distrust the government: Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, independents, everybody, and then those non-voters and everybody in between. I've talked to all of them. They don't trust the government, and yet they still keep themselves in this little box and separate themselves from the other group of people, right? Well, I'm a Republican, I just don't trust them. I'm a Democrat, I just don't trust them. I'm an independent. Your lack of trust is what you have in common with the rest of Americans. So can we gather around that? Can we recognize that this label, this political label, is destroying us, and it's keeping us separated, keeping us from getting something accomplished. Because if we don't, as American people, find our commonalities, the one thing that links us, and we put all the other bullshit aside, but find that thing that links us and work towards resolving that, if we can't do that, we're not going to get beyond where we are now, because these systems of oppression and these rules are strong and they're in place and they're not going anywhere unless we come together and decide that we're not going to take it anymore, and that we are going to unify in our dissent or our lack of trust or whatever that is. We have to recognize that, and that's going to be a painful process for some. It's not going to happen for others, but I'm hoping it'll happen for us, because when we just protest, when we just complain about the process, that's beautiful. We're talking about it, but there's no action in that. And if we just turn away from the system that is oppressing us, or that is keeping good people from being leaders in our country, it doesn't help us. We have to actually turn towards and embrace the problem. It's like that saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? The baby, if the baby's crying and crazy and sick, we don't throw the baby out. We got to coddle the baby. We got to turn towards the baby and understand what is the problem and nurse it back to health. I'd say that's where we're at with politics. I think that we could even move beyond calling this politics, because I think that it's such a dirty word. But the point is, we got to address it. We got to coddle it and nurse it back to health. As much as a pain as this baby politics is, we got to nurse it back to health, because it's in the roots of our foundation. And there's some things, right, that we gotta change those habits, or change the way we do things. Some of our systems are inherently racist or sexist or bigoted, and we have to address those. But that doesn't mean we just chop it down at its legs and then we don't have any legs to stand on, right? Let's be intelligent about this, guys. Let's see our commonalities. Get beyond just that emotional place of like being the baby, if I just want to argue and and let's grow up and recognize that we can do something about this. So I get it. You're a non-voter, or you don't trust and you don't want to, but can we move beyond it? That's my question. Can we move beyond this and start to find those people who are trying to infiltrate the system, like myself, who I'm here for selfless service. That's my life goal on my path. But there's other people who are teachers and all different careers who are just trying to do good. So let's find those people, let's find our commonalities, and let's work towards building something positive and wonderful in our country. Thanks for listening.